Peter Whitmer home and farm holds a unique place in the history of the Restoration, both as a safe haven for much of the translation of the Book of Mormon and its publication, as well as the location for the organization of the Church of Christ in latter days. In the spring of 1829, a letter arrived here at the Whitmer home in Fayette Township that would forever change the lives of the Whitmer family. Oliver Cowdery wrote from Harmony, Pennsylvania, requesting that he and the prophet Joseph Smith be given lodging for a time. In granting this request, little did the Whitmer family realize the integral part they would play in the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ. During the summer of 1829, the Whitmers provided one of their upstairs bedrooms for the prophet Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery in which to stay and translate the Book of Mormon plates. A short time later, Emma Smith also came to stay with the Whitmers. It's most likely that the translation of 1 Nephi through the end of the Words of Mormon took place in one of these upstairs bedrooms.
During the latter part of June 1829, the Lord called Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer, and Martin Harris to be three special witnesses of the Book of Mormon. If they had sufficient faith, they would be shown the plates, the breastplate, the sword of Laban, the Urim and Thummim, and the Liahona. These three men and the prophet Joseph Smith retired to the woods near Peter Whitmer's property, praying to obtain the fulfillment of these promises. After much prayer and supplication, Joseph, Oliver, and David were shown a vision of the plates and the other objects. It was not until later that day, after he had humbled himself further before God, that Martin Harris was also shown the same vision. Following the experience of the three witnesses to the Book of Mormon, in which they saw the plates and an angel and heard the voice of God declare the truth of the Book of Mormon, Joseph returned with them to the Whitmer home. His mother, Lucy Mack Smith, related that he threw himself down on the bed in this room where his parents and Mrs. Whitmer were sitting together and exclaimed, "Father, Mother, you do not know how happy I am. The Lord has caused the plates to be shown to three more besides me. They have also seen an angel and will have to testify to the truth of what I have said, for they know for themselves." Martin Harris then came into the room. He seemed almost overcome with joy. He then testified to what he had seen and heard, as did also Oliver and David, who added that no tongue could express the joy of their hearts and the greatness of the things which they had both seen and heard. Most likely it was also in this bedroom that the prophet Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery heard the voice of the Lord, directing them how to organize the Church of Christ.
The main room of the house served as a kitchen, dining room, and gathering room for family conversation, reading, amusement, and for receiving guests. Most importantly, on Tuesday, April 6, 1830, according to divine command, a small group of people gathered in the Whitmer home. At that time, the prophet Joseph Smith directed the official organization of the Church of Christ. David Whitmer reported that over 50 people filled the lower rooms of the home. The meeting began with solemn prayer, after which Joseph conducted the business of organizing the church according to the laws of the state of New York. After those present sustained Joseph Smith Jr. and Oliver Cowdery as their teachers, and after Joseph and Oliver ordained one another to the office of elder, they administered the sacrament of bread and wine to those present. Those who had been previously baptized were confirmed members of the church and given the gift of the Holy Ghost, and other members were ordained to various offices in the priesthood. The meeting was then closed with prayer. During the time that Joseph lived here at the Whitmer home, he received at least 17 revelations, later published in the Doctrine and Covenants, as well as worked on the Joseph Smith translation of the Bible. For a time, the home was the center of activity of the newly restored church, and in addition to the organization meeting on April 6, 1830, new members gathered to the Whitmer farm for the first three conferences of the church. During the last conference, the Lord revealed to the saints that they must move to Ohio to escape their enemies, and promised to reveal His law to them and endow them with power from on high after they gathered to Ohio. In May of 1831, obedient to the Lord's command, the Whitmers left their home and farm and moved to Kirtland, Ohio, where they continued to build the kingdom of God in a new home.